Citation Creation, Paraphrasing and In-Text Citation, IDT 995 Scholarly Project, Nancy Olson. Front-end analysis. The first thing we need to understand is the definitions of a direct quote, a summary, and a paraphrase. Quotations are a direct word-for-word selection of an author's work enclosed within quotation marks. Paraphrases are a short selection of an author's work, rewritten in the student's own words, and are slightly shorter than the author's original work. Summaries are a broad overview of the main points of an author's work and are significantly shorter than the author's original work. All three types require an in-text citation to avoid plagiarism. Research paper requirements. A well-written college-level research paper requires the ability to paraphrase and to create in-text citations. A random analysis of 2 Barstow Community College classes show that almost 2/3 of our students lack these abilities. 62% do not know how to paraphrase, and 64% do not know how to create an accurate in-text citation. 85% of the students used a work cited or reference page, and of the students who used in-text citations correctly, twice as many students used APA as used MLA. Out of 42 students, 19 did not use any citation method. Figure 1 shows the skill level of Barstow Community College students as it pertains to their ability to create a correct in-text citation. And as you can see, we have only 36% of our students able to create a correct in-text citation. Another 20% who try and at least know that there is such a thing as an in-text citation, and 44% of our students use no in-text citations at all. Figure 2 shows the skill level of Barstow Community College students as it pertains to their ability to create and use paraphrases. 38% of our students can paraphrase, but 62% of our students cannot. The desired performance of the learners after this workshop will be to understand the definition and purpose of paraphrasing, to be able to implement paraphrasing using a 3-step technique, to understand the definition and purpose of in-text citations, to understand the differences between APA and MLA in-text citations, to be able to integrate in-text citations in both narrative and parenthetical form, to be able to create an original paraphrase with an appropriate in-text citation. The current performance that our learners are at is that they know how to find a valid academic resource, they understand the concept of plagiarism and the need to provide a works cited or reference page, and they know how to properly format a research paper. The learning outcomes for this tutorial is that students will be able to paraphrase, use in-text citation, create and identify a paraphrase with an in-text citation. The following graph shows where our students are and where we want them to go. We are going to go ahead and start with our first terminal objective, which is to give the students the understanding of a definition and the purpose of a paraphrase, and the second terminal objective to understand the purpose and definition of an in-text citation. We then move through the enabling and terminal objectives until we reach our goal, which is to teach students how to create a paraphrase with an in-text citation. After the definition and purpose, we are going to teach students that a paraphrase is complete, objective, accurate, and original. We will then teach them a 3-stage technique consisting of changing the synonyms, changing the numbers, and changing the structure of the sentence, and they will synthesize these techniques to create a paraphrase. Once they've created that paraphrase, they'll learn how to do an in-text citation by first learning the purpose and definition of an in-text citation, and then learning the methods, parenthetical and narrative. They will learn there are 2 forms, APA and MLA, and that the significant difference between them is how they handle the formatting to include the dates and the authors. Finally, they'll learn how to implement an in-text citation, and we'll create one so that we can reach our goal, which is to create a paraphrase with an accurate in-text citation. The learner context analysis, or the general statistics for Barstow Community College, are that 51.6% of our students are online. We are going to examine 3 sets of learners: an English, a business administration, and an early childhood education class. These are all transferable courses. In fall of 2015, we had 37.8% of our students being male and 61.5% of our students being female. The student age in the fall of 2015 was that 21% were 19 or less, 31% are 20 to 24, 16% were 25 to 29, 10% were 30 to 34, 8% were 35 to 39, 8% were 40 to 49, and just 6% were 50 plus. We need to be able to reach all of these demographics, but perhaps for this first time we should target our majority of our learners, which are in the 19 to 29-year-old range. Therefore, we will use streaming videos as well as interactivity, as well as providing paper-based materials in order to ensure that we can reach all of our target audience. As you can see in our next slide, the education level for the majority of our students is a high school graduate. There are the next highest one, which are the college degrees. We then have unknown, not a high school graduate, and special admit, making up a small percentage of our population. The ethnicity in the fall of 2015 was majority Hispanic, white non-Hispanic, African American, multi-ethnicity, and Asian Filipino. We also had a few Pacific Islanders and American Indians, as well as some unknowns. It's important, looking at the broad range of our diversity, to include all of these ethnicities and their unique perspectives and needs when creating a tutorial. The achievement that our students are currently at is 176 have an AA degree, 116 had an AS degree, and 45 of them had certificates. Moving on to the final criteria for the learner context analysis, we can see that half of our students want to either obtain an AA degree and transfer to a 4-year institution without the degree, obtain the 2-year degree without transferring, or a few want to have a vocational certificate without transferring. This is over half of our students, and so it's appropriate to say that all of our students will need access to understand how to paraphrase and create an in-text citation. It is also apparent that our admissions department needs to work a little bit harder in getting people to declare their goal. The strengths of our learners are that they are self-motivated, academic, they have plagiarism awareness, and they're adaptable. So they're self-starters and want to succeed with basic academic abilities. They realize the importance of a works cited or reference page, and they're willing to learn new concepts and to adapt new technologies. Their weaks are their reading level, as we have a very low reading level in our town, as well as the technology equipment, as over 36% of our population is on welfare. We also have a problem with global awareness and critical thinking, so we will need to keep all of these weaknesses in mind when creating the tutorial. Our potentially difficult content areas are grammar, so we need to make sure that the language we use is at an appropriate level for all of our students. Visual aids, we want to provide text equivalents in the alt tags to make sure that our ADA students can still understand. Paraphrase components, which the students must understand the 4 components, and the paraphrase creation, because that's a synthesis of everything and is a conceptual skill and harder to learn. The description of the learning context is the tutorial will reside in a Canvas Learning Management System module. It will be a Captivate tutorial with a PowerPoint presentation, a formative and a summative assessment, and supplementals in the materials in the form of an in-text citation guide and a narrative in-text citation word list. Check with us next time when we do the second third of our presentation on citation creation, paraphrase, and in-text citation. See you next time.